He did. That's impressive.
So Jesse, when you were, because I ignored this part of the show sheet yesterday, as opposed to Tausch, who just doesn't see it at all. There was a portion of the program that you had scheduled that was, did you hear this, the Enigma edition. Do we have this clip of Matt LaFleur?
We do not.
So
this was from part 3, I'm told, which we had part 1 was available for us.
So I will read you the quotes because they played it for me on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning. Matt LaFleur is being interviewed, and he is asked about the drafting of Jordan Love. And Josh DiMaggio tells me that he just sent you this clip, Jesse, so you can have it. But this is, again, and I have Roberto here in the YouTube comments asking if I secretly watched Enigma and just won't admit it, which I don't like having my reputation besmirched. I did not. I'm not lying about this. That's not what I do here. I'm a lot of things. I'm not a liar. Terrible.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it on Friday. I'm going to watch it Friday en route down to Chicago. I think is going to be my plan. So I'm going to watch it.
I assume you're not driving.
No, I won't be driving.
Okay, just to be clear.
No, I won't be driving.
So, all right. So this is the Jesse. Do you have it now?
We had an error downloading the file content, but yes, we now have it. Yes, we're good.
Oh, boy.
One of those days back here. Yeah.
The old
That's
holidays,
one of those days
huh?
over here, too.
The holidays are
all right,
coming.
so here, instead of me dramatically reading what Matt LaFleur said, here is what Matt LaFleur says in the documentary Enigma.
I don't think a lot of people, at least in our camp, thought that Jordan would have been there when we were picking, and the opportunity presented itself. And it was an opportunity that Ted Thompson thought was too good to pass up.
We're all surprised that Green Bay traded up to take you. Jordan, what do you think you can learn from Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, I'm already knowing I can learn a lot from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he did learn a lot from Aaron Rodgers. But I learned from Enigma without watching it that Ted Thompson thought it was an opportunity that was too good to pass up. So I did not reach out to Goody. I reached out to someone else who works in the building who was there for the interview with Matt LaFleur. And his recollection was that Matt LaFleur was talking about how Ted had drafted Aaron, and then Goody essentially did the same thing. He believes that the editors of Enigma spliced 2 clips together erroneously and made it sound like Ted Thompson had a role that was not actually the reality. That the editing
fake
led
news?
to.
So you're saying fake news?
Yeah. Look, I hold a affinity for Ted Thompson and for his memory. So when I say this, I do not want to sound in any way disrespectful toward him, because I always felt like he never got anything close to the credit he deserved for what he did as the Packers general manager. I don't think Ted was in a place cognitively that he would have been having a major influence on the Packers draft decisions. I also don't think that Matt LaFleur would get that piece of information wrong. Like, I think Matt LaFleur, even though we know that was the COVID draft, so Matt LaFleur's at his house and his son is walking into the picture, and Goody's at his house conducting the draft, I don't think Matt LaFleur thinks that Ted Thompson, whom he never worked with, drafted or had a say in the drafting of Jordan Love. I would predict that someone will ask about it today when LaFleur talks to us after practice. But I have not seen the clip with my own eyes. But as Joshy just texted me, it does sound like it is an edit there. It does not sound like a continuation of the answer. And what I would say, and I don't know what Aaron Rodgers' role is.
It's probably something you want to get right in the editing.
Right, and I guess that's what I would say is I don't know enough about this wasn't ESPN doing this, right? This is some sort of independent project that Aaron Rodgers was involved with. I don't think Aaron Rodgers was sitting in an edit bay going through with a fine-tooth comb, every scene.
But in fairness, you don't know that.
He might.
That's why I said I don't
could
think.
see him being a perfectionist and not let.
Yeah, I don't think he.
I think looking at this, I just assumed it was Ted talking to 𝙒𝙀 and saying sometimes you got to make these hard choices. It's not like I thought that Ted drafted Jordan Love. Ted discussed with 𝙒𝙀 timing and everything else, and you're saying none of that happened.
I don't think so. No, I don't think that happened. Like, I think maybe I will go back during the next commercial break and see what 𝙒𝙀 said that night, and if he mentioned talking to Ted at all about what he did with Aaron Rodgers and drafting him when Brett Favre was still the quarterback. Because, and look, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. That's really Aaron Rodgers' department these days. But is it possible, if you think he was in edit bays, that this was just a way to undermine any credit that the guy that he doesn't like, that was the GM, gets for drafting Jordan Love? Like, if you really want to get into the weeds, you could do that, right?
Or it could also be Ted has been underappreciated, and he wanted to put more shine on Ted, the guy that drafted him.
Sure.
Back in 2005.
Also
so it could
possible.
be both. You could look at the cynical way, or you could look at the positive way. I get that.
But let's
I hope this story's true. I hope it is true, because then you're looking at Ted telling Ron Wolf back in the old days, right?
Yeah, to trade for Favre.
Favre would be a pretty good pick.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, then he did the move to bring Aaron Rodgers in, and then if he told 𝙒𝙀, hey, these opportunities don't come often, as is in this movie, all of a sudden Ted Thompson is now the trinity of Packers quarterbacks.
Turns out he told Lombardi to play Bart Starr, too.
He has been a part of the holy trinity of Packer quarterbacks outside of Bart. That would be pretty cool. And anytime you can put a positive light on Ted, I think it's a good thing. So
yeah.
Whether or not this is true, I saw this clip on X, and I thought, boy, that's interesting. But the timeline didn't seem to make a ton of sense, because everybody kind of knew Ted was not in great health at that point in time, because he ended up passing, what, in
21? Yeah, in January of 21, I believe.
So that timeline would be pretty snug, but I'm hoping it is true. But it sounds as if your conversations with folks makes it think that this was maybe just an editing error and is not true.
Yeah, and
fair?
Yes, and I would like to, again, emphasize that I'm with you. I would love for it to be true, right? Because that would be really cool for Ted, R.I.P., to have a say in all three of these great quarterbacks.
That'd be pretty cool.
And for someone, as we both just agreed, is underappreciated, that would burnish his legacy even more. But again, this is a team trying to get ready for the playoffs and beat a team that they're favored by 14.5 points against. I doubt that Matt LaFleur is looking forward to dealing with this question today, but I guarantee someone's going to ask him. I guarantee.
You think he watches Enigma? Do you think he watches Enigma?
No, but I think the PR staff is going to let him know, hey, this is out there now. Because, look, I'm seeing tweets about it all over the place. I saw Aaron Nagler chime in on.
Is Matt LaFleur at some point going to watch Enigma? Who will watch it together?
Who will watch Enigma first, Matt LaFleur or Jason Wilde?
It's you by far.
It's not.
But
I don't think
here's
so,
what
Jim.
would be awesome. You two watching it together.
Yeah.
A players only, but with the coach and me.
Rent out a theater, get some popcorn.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's great idea. That's exactly the phrase that I would choose for that. All right. Look, I think this is not true. Just let me leave it at that. I believe that the editing
I want
error,
it to be true, so I'm going to just say it. I'm just going to because it's reported and it's done, and I was taught that whatever's reported and done is accurate.
No, wait,
so I'm just gonna roll with
don't
it.
do that. Come on, don't besmirch my profession.
It's in a movie. It's edited. It's not. It's Matt LaFleur's voice. What do you want me to think?
I'm trying to tell you
What do you want me to think?
Which is never a good idea for me. I also try not to tell you who to pick on Prize Picks because you know a lot more about that sort of stuff, even though your track record. Did you just hit your head on the back?
I did. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members and billions of dollars, and it's that time of year. Merry Picksmas, as we like to say, and it's simple. Pick more or less on at least 2 players. You know what? I talked to the boys and girls over at Prize Picks, and I said, you know what? You guys are doing 100 times your cash. That's nice.
Boy.
That's cute. We've seen 200x over Thanksgiving, but if we're going to do Picksmas right, we got to go all the way to 1,000x on your ideas. So Prize Picks said, you know what, Tausch, you're a smart guy. We're going to do it. So now Prize Picks is putting its members
Actually, it was
first.
Ted Thompson's idea. Ted Thompson told me
So
to
all
do that.
withdrawals, they are fast, they're safe. That's pretty good. And secure. When you're